So I'll call the recessed meeting to order. And I'll remind everybody that this meeting is a continuation of the meeting held last Wednesday, which was recessed to allow the committee to receive more information on each candidate. That time has elapsed, and I believe we can move forward with our process. This meeting's purpose is to consider which of the three candidates will be appointed as superintendent of Westborough Schools.
Don't plug it in.
The selection of our appointee is not final in our process, since the committee must then negotiate a contract with the appointee. When a contract is agreed to by the candidate in the school committee, a formal declaration of that event will occur at a future public meeting of the school committee. I would like to outline our selection process to date. The committee posted the opening for superintendent once Amber Brock provided her notice to the school committee of her retirement. The posting was published in a number of areas normal to attract candidates for school superintendent. Prior to the closing of the response period, we received 34 candidates to review. And after the response period closed, we assembled a search committee made up of 13 people. That group included 2 members of the school committee, 1 person at large, 10 members of the school department, of which 2 were principals, 4 members of the administration, and 4 teachers. During that period, the remaining members of the school committee were provided with all documents received for review. And I'll point out that if we had a majority of the school committee members there, anything we did could have been considered an appointment. So that's the reason why only 2 were there. The school committee, the search committee shortlisted 34 respondents to 6, and all 6 were interviewed by the committee. The search committee then reduced the number to 3. These 3 candidates were invited to tour 2 schools each, not the same schools, but some were covered by 2 candidates. And each visited a school with teachers there, visited with the town hall staff, central staff of the school committee, of the school district, fire and police department staff, administration staff, and ultimately to present themselves to the public on February the 5th. The outcome of these visits resulted in comments and advice to the school committee via telephone calls, emails, personal discussion, which added to the impression held by each school committee member. All of these events are part of the data provided to the school committee for its decision on who might be chosen as our candidate tonight. It is clear to the committee that each of these 3 candidates could perform well as a future superintendent. The choice of the school committee then is a personal opinion who, at this time, with the current pressures on the town and education in general, can best perform the duties of the superintendent of schools. With that forward, I will begin the process with the following. Some special considerations are necessary for our purpose tonight. When a motion is made and seconded, I will call for a vote after discussion is ended, and I will proceed in the following order. I will call on Sarah Shamsuddin, then Yakub Maskal, Steve Batchelor, Kristen Vincent, and then myself to respond to that discussion or whatever action is taken. Pending the outcome of any vote, the committee will then proceed to the next step as the logic of that vote, whatever the number turns out to be, will imply. I wish it to be known that a positive vote of the committee includes the selection of the finalists for superintendent by motion and vote. The action in that vote also includes the authorization for the chair of the school committee to begin contract negotiations with the selected candidate for the superintendent position. And with that, eventually, once the negotiated contract has been agreed to by the full school committee, we then will have a superintendent of schools. So with that, let us begin, and I'll first call on Sarah to offer any motion she would like to advance. That should do it.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm going to move to appoint Allison Borchers as superintendent.
Okay, with that, is there a second?
Yes, I'll second that.
With that, we can vote on the motion,
Can we have discussion?
but we should have discussion first. Then we can vote on the motion. So with that, who would like to start? Sarah?
Okay. I want to start by stating how difficult this decision has been for me personally, as well as for the entire committee. I can only imagine how challenging it may have been to come before our community under so much pressure and so little time to try and essentially sum up your years of vast experience, achievements, values, goals, and personality, while even trying to throw in some comedic relief from time to time. So thank you very much for the time you dedicated to our interview process. The high caliber of our applicant pool really speaks volumes to the attractiveness of our town and schools. I feel fortunate that any one of these three candidates possess the strengths necessary to continue the excellent work of our administration. Unfortunately, only one individual can be hired for the superintendent position. I know that, like my fellow members, I have given careful consideration to the needs and wants of our community. Along with consideration of relevant district-level experience, leadership abilities, communication skills, budgeting experience, and a vision for our schools, consideration to the candidate's values, personal alignment within our district, as well as an ability to integrate into our existing team were an essential part of the assessment process. In speaking specifically about our candidates, both Ms. Borchers and Ms. Day Francisco present a breadth of district-level experience. I feel that both are clearly familiar with what it takes to run a dynamic district such as ours. Either one of them will be an asset to any administration which they serve. I applaud Mr. Callahan for stepping up to this challenge. Applying as an internal candidate comes with its own unique set of obstacles. I greatly appreciate Mr. Callahan's honesty and transparency throughout the interview process. Aside from the interviews, as a parent of two girls in the high school, I feel strongly that Mr. Callahan possesses the leadership skills, heart, and dedication required to confront the challenges our district will face in the coming years. I think our community is privileged that the students in our high school are under the care of Mr. Callahan, and I look forward to seeing him in district-level leadership roles in the future.
Thank you. Yakub?
I did not prepare a nice speech, but I'll have a few comments. I wanted, first of all, to say thank you to our community, to all the people that provided feedback. It was helpful in this process, for all the comments that we received in the forums and in conversations. I think it's a sign that our town is a very healthy democracy, that people are participating in this process. They're sharing their opinions, and I had very good conversations. They weren't, emotional or angry, and I really enjoyed this process. I wanted to say thank you to the search committee. I wasn't part of that, and I appreciate all the work that was done. We had 34 candidates. That's a lot of resumes to go through, a lot of interviews in the next round. A lot of work was done there, and I would like to give those people all the credit for giving us the three candidates that are all very strong, and I think we had the fortune to have a good problem, which is, three strong candidates. We're not choosing the lesser of evils, but we're choosing the greater good, and I think it's a good problem to have. Regardless of what choices we made today, I will like to say, like Steve and Sarah already mentioned, all candidates are, the finalists are equipped to be in that role, and I wish them good luck. I'm sure there is a great career ahead of them. Thank you.
All right, thank you. My two colleagues have stolen all of my thunder. So I don't have much to say other than, some gratitude to give. I want to thank the three candidates for applying. It was a wonderful experience being able to go through their extensive time as administrators. All three are capable candidates, and we're in a very lucky position to be able to hire one of three, any of whom would be, I think, a good fit for the district. I'd like to thank the search committee for all of the hard work they did. There were a lot of applications that they went through, and I'm really pleased with with how they narrowed the list down from 34 to 3 exceptional candidates. I'd like also to thank the community for all the feedback that they provided. It was incredibly helpful for me as a school committee member to go through that feedback and to see where parents and community members really stood on the 3 candidates. And finally, I'd like to thank the other school committee members for all of their wonderful consideration and thoughtfulness during this process. It was really nice to be able to hear from them, learn from them as we move forward with making this very important decision. Thank you.
Kristen?
I don't know if that leaves me anything else to say. I'll just add a thank you to all of the schools who opened their doors and their classrooms, to our candidates who were visiting the district. I really appreciate how all our candidates were welcomed into the schools, had a chance to see the great teaching and learning that happens here in Westborough. So thank you to everyone involved.
And as far as the specifics go of these discussions here, I think I know I agree with every one of them, but one of the things that I think is paramount in our decision-making and ultimately our choice is how well will the candidate fit into our system, which is, as you heard during the discussion, they visited everybody. They visited the town hall people, the administration here, administration in the schools, with teachers. And the ultimate decision, I think, in my own mind, is how well will our chosen candidate be able to perform with all of the players that we have. And I think the judgment that's before us is the proper one. I believe that we have chosen the best candidate to fit with our system and to perform as we hope that Allison will. So with that, I think we're done with our discussion. Are you ready for a vote? Okay. All those in favor of Allison Borges, please raise your hand. Looks to me like it's unanimous. And as a result of that, I mention again that this motion and vote now charges the chair, that is me, to begin the negotiations with our chosen candidate for superintendent of schools. And that will take place, I guess, as soon as we can get together to do that. I will say that it was anticipation of having to have a contract, and so we have a draft which will obviously be modified by comments and wishes as we negotiate both sides of that coin. So with that, I think our business, as was posted for tonight, is completed. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Yeah, I move that we adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Very good. I'm sure, I would think Tammy will notify them. Huh? Yeah, okay. So they'll be notified as soon as we can get the information out. So thank you all for coming, and anybody who is listening tonight, you know, we go forward with to continue with an excellent school superintendent to try to fill the shoes of Amber. So thank you. Good night.